Welcome to Creation Magazine Live. This is a program where we take articles from Creation Magazine, which is our ministry, Creation Ministries International's flagship publication for over 30 years now. It's going into believers' homes and strengthening their faith. So we just kind of look at these articles and encourage you to get to the website where they're archived. And of course, you can subscribe to Creation Magazine and have this kind of information coming right into your home.
Yes, good thing about mentioning the website is this article has as do many of the articles where there's more technical information that's relevant. This article has a box, and you can see it there on the layout, the picture of the layout, for more technical information. We won't mention that in this in this program today, but we're just going to read the main article. Well, you can read that on the website, and many other things about comets. That's what we're looking at here. Backwards comet perplexes scientists, and it perplexes evolutionary scientists.
Right.
Some of our scientists, astronomers and astrophysics and so on, might be interested in it, but I don't know if it perplexes evolutionary scientists.
I guess it perplexes them because you're going to inform us of how it doesn't fit the evolutionary model.
It doesn't fit the evolutionary model of the evolution of the solar system, the origin of the solar system, where it came from. This is by Dr. Jonathan Sarfati and Dr. David Catchpool. David Catchpool is at our Australian office, and Jono is now with our U.S. office, but he was at the Australian office for many years.
Right.
The origin of comets presents a challenge to evolutionary cosmologists. They are small, only about 10 kilometers across, quote, dirty balls of ice. So every time they pass by the sun, some of their ice evaporates. The solar wind, that's charged particles radiating from the sun, pushes the tail of ions. These ions are electrically charged atoms directly away from the sun. Solar radiation pushes away dust particles to generate a second tail that curves gently away from the sun and backwards. These tails shine brightly in the sun's light. The resulting appearance, like a hairy star, is responsible for the term comet, and that comes from some Greek words here. I'm not even going to try to pronounce them. You can read the article on the web and work it out for yourself. They lose so much mass every pass that they cannot be more than thousands of years old. Otherwise, they would have long disappeared. That fits perfectly with the Bible's time frame, but leaves evolutionary Big Bang, billions of years proponents scratching for ideas. And at this point, it has here, see the box. Now, that's the more technical information. And you can, again, read that on the website. And the recent discovery of a comet dubbed Dracula, officially named 2008 KV42.
Dracula is easier, I guess.
Dracula is easier to remember, yeah. Although, would you name a comet Dracula?
Maybe they'll tell us why.
This comet is reported to be perplexing evolutionary scientists as to its origins. This is because it is orbiting backwards around the sun, i.e. in the opposite direction to the planets on a 104-degree tilt. This is the first time, here's a quote, this is the first time in the outer solar system that something's going backwards, says Dr. John Cavellars, one member of the international team of astrophysicists who spotted the comet. It was so odd that they originally thought it was an error, he added. However, after confirmation via other telescopes around the world, the new discovery has changed some astronomers' assessment of 2002 XU-93, a similar type outer solar system comet tilted at 77 degrees, a virtual mirror orbit to Dracula, this new discovery.
Right.
Before, they thought the one in 2002, was a weird oddball, said Cavellars. Now there's two, and this one, the Dracula, the new one, is so unusual you can't ignore it.
Now, is it unusual because it's orbiting in an opposite direction because they believe everything should be orbiting in the same way because of how they picture the universe forming through evolution? Yes, of course. One of
the most popular notions is that the solar system came from a dust cloud that collapsed, and the dust was rotating in all one direction, obviously. So then, if there's things going the other way, well, how did that happen?
Everything was going in this direction, forming then, yeah.
Yes, and also the plane of orbit. It's not all in the same plane. There's quite an angle of
Right.
of difference there to the...
Because regardless of most science fiction shows, the ships all don't have to be on a certain plane going through space.
That's another show altogether on that. Anyways, where were we here?
Yeah.
All right. The reason for the bafflement is evolutionary astronomers accept the nebular hypothesis. This 18th century naturalistic idea proposes that the Sun, the Earth, and the rest of the solar system formed from a nebula, or a cloud of dust and gas. And such a collapsing cloud would result in objects orbiting in the same direction, hence the puzzlement about a counter-orbiting object such as this comet. There are many other problems with the nebular hypothesis, and you can, again, you can go to the website creation.com, do a search on nebular hypothesis, and find some articles there. The website actually has more than 30 years of creationist research on it. All of the, well, not all of them, but many of the articles from previous creation magazines have been digitized and put up on the web.
Right. And you tend to find that the information that we have on our website, it's kind of like we can go as deep as the person that's looking for information needs to, right? If you're looking for just some common level information on what we're talking about here, well, of course we do Creation Magazine Live. You can get Creation Magazine. For more technical information, we've got the Journal of Creation, and a lot of that information has been archived, which is a peer-reviewed science journal.
Up on the web as well.
Right, and so you can kind of go to the depth of information you need. If you're in school and you're studying sciences, or you're a scientist, you can get information at that kind of level. Or if you're just your regular mom and dad, looking for just some information for your kids to be able to put a school project together, we've got information at different categories of complexity, I guess you could say.
Yes, yeah. Most of it's at a layman's level, though, for the non-scientist for the non-educated scientist or layman, I was going to say.
Yeah.
You don't need to be a scientist to understand it, and that's
right.
That's what we want to do. Provide that information at a level, like what did one of the pastors say? You put the goodies on, put the jam on the bottom jar, on the bottom shelf.
Make it accessible to everybody.
Make it accessible to everyone, yeah. And this article does as well. It explains what comets are and the problem here for evolution. The article continues, there are many other problems with the nebular hypothesis. Thousands of years old comets and mirror orbits are no accident, as the psalmist in Psalm 19:1 wrote, "The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands." The complexity and the creativity of God, especially the creativity of God. When you look at some of these pictures of the heavens and the different objects that are out there that God made, it just screams of the creativity of God. And even the way they've colorized some of the stars and the gas clouds that are out there, the nebula and so on, through the Hubble telescope and other more advanced telescopes that are now being developed and used.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. Go to the NASA website and look at some images on astronomy.
Right. Yeah.
Amazing, the creativity of God.
So a neat article, kind of highlighting two different things. Number one, how come we still have comets? If the universe is that old, they would have burnt out long ago. And two, how come they're not operating in rotating in the same direction that they expect everything to be rotating in? But the interesting thing about this, because it's not, even though you're observing those things in real time today, we don't. When you're talking about the origins of those things, I mean, I'm sure an evolutionist could come up with maybe that comet bumped into something and it veered off in a different trajectory.
They'll come up with some little patch on this problem. Yeah.
Right. But that's highlighting the difference between historical science, operational science, which is a big part of the creation evolution debate.
Yes.